everybody. Welcome to The Process with Mr. Holdren. Today we are here in the RBTV fourth hour class. Fourth hour. And The Process is just a quick little in-class podcast where we are exploring students' process as they create their artwork. And today we have with us Mason. Mason, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Good, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a junior here at RB. This is my third year in RBTV, sixth semester, so it's fun. I'm also creative director right now.
That's a lot. That's a long time, man.
It is a long time.
Yeah, and you're also an athlete, and you do a lot of things at the school, and you're also someone that helps a lot, not just creating content, but just, helping the studio and helping the program grow and be as polished as it can be. So always thank you for that, of course.
No problem.
And today we're looking at your project that you submitted to the MMEA contest. So let's talk about what this project is and how you came up with the idea for it.
Mason's maintenance. So I guess it's I think cars are cool. Obviously, I wouldn't say I'm like a car guy per se, but
I would. You changed all of our screensavers to cars.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I know everything about cars, but I think cars are cool. But I took Mr. Weissar's auto tech class when he had it here, and now it's Mr.
May.
Mr. May, yeah. But when I was taking the class, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a how-to on how to oil change? So I just thought that was a good idea, especially for the demonstration category for MMA.
Yeah, and last year you did one as well. You did a demonstration, kind of similar, Mason's man maintenance.
Yeah, completely different.
Completely different. This one is just straight up Mason's maintenance. But I first off, I applaud that you kind of have a series going. Mm-hmm. And at least 2 years in a row, you have this project going. And maybe you'll do more like throughout the years, because every time you do it, they seem to do really well. And last year's project performed well at Natus and MMEA. You won. I think you're nominated for a Crystal Pillar for Natus, correct?
I got fourth place in MMEA, and then it was nominated in Natus. So that's cool.
And for all those people out there, to get nominated for Crystal Pillar is like winning first place, I think, in MMEA. But it is what it is. So all right, let's jump into it here. Let's talk about it and walk us through the project that we're seeing here.
Hey, welcome back to Mason's Maintenance. I'm Mason, and today we're going to be talking about a very important part of a lot of your guys' life, which is maintaining your car.
Gimbal. This is just
the most important part, which is changing your car's oil. Let's check it out.
Made an amazing
Joined here
logo
by
on
RBHS
ChatGPT.
auto teacher, Mr. May. Mr. May, can you tell us why it's so important to change your car's oil?
Mr. May.
Oh, there's a couple reasons why you want to change oil.
Trying to get him to talk about stuff.
First one would be there's additives in oil that wear out over time. Second one would be
the original version of this was like 30 minutes long.
A lot of carbon, and that carbon gets in the oil, and you want to remove that.
You were
what's our first step here?
So why?
First step I
how did
always
you
like to
come
do
up
is
with
check our oil.
steps?
Just in case we don't have any oil in the car, there could be a problem with adding more oil or even new oil and causing the engine to seize up.
Adobe Premiere Pro,
So you can go to text,
you can go to text, and it will transcribe the whole thing for you.
Read it for understanding.
And then I plugged that text into ChatGPT, and it gave me steps that outlined it for me.
Yeah, steps that fit. It's a good move. You got to leverage AI as much as you can.
Because I had steps before, but they were kind of like very broad, not really specific, and there's like 16 of them. So making it down to 5 was just, a lot better for the project.
Yeah, let's pause it here. If we look at these shots, who helped you to create the vision with this? You had a bunch of people with you.
Well, I had Mateo. I had Mateo on Osmo a little bit. He was kind of, he was a minor part, but it was mainly RJ and Jacob.
RJ's in the house. We can get him on camera 3, can't we? No, we can't get him on camera 3. He's here.
But yeah, I had RJ on sticks, so he was on a tripod camera getting some shots, and then Jacob was on the gimbal, which is the handheld camera. So.
Yeah, and I think this is a project that highlights the importance of teamwork, because you had the idea for it, you made the connection, you kind of wrote the script, but you were busy with hosting responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
And having like people you trust and they can perform well allows you just to focus on the conversation and the content. And I think you chose, probably some of the strongest RBTVers in the program to do it. And it highlights by the look of it. I mean, it looks great. The angles. You even brought lights. We lit it up. You did how many? You had 3 cameras?
Yeah, there were 3 cameras. The one was the Osmo though, so it was just kind of like mounted on the camera.
Yeah.
Mounted on the car.
So that's creative, right? I mean, how are you going to get that shot of the angle in the engine? And you knew the tool to use, you used it well, and I mean, again, it's the reason why I think this is going to perform well. All right, let's keep watching a little bit of this here. And Mr. May, thanks for helping out with that too, of course.
Yeah, definitely appreciate him.
And the one thing I noticed that you did was you put in like tips, like little hints and stuff, and throughout. Why did you do that?
Well, really, it's because I had to condense it so much. Like some of these tips were like they were explained in talking points, but since I had to trim it down to that 3-minute window, I had to just put them as text on the screen, just like little tips, so that the video can keep going and have momentum to, like, through the end.
Yeah, and it adds to like the content. I think this is a piece where people can actually watch it and learn from it, and which is a demonstration. That's what it's supposed to be, for demonstration. And I think, it looks great, but it also is informative and can genuinely help people change their oil. Not me, I'm not changing oil. But so talk to me about a little bit more about the use of the graphics in it, because I see you've got some cool tip graphics.
Yeah, the graphics are just kind of how to try to highlight the steps along the process, because I'm not saying like, oh, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. So the graphics are really to like guide you along that journey, like through how to oil change, and then the tips are just on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to add the information. If you're truly trying to make it informative, you needed to add that.
Yeah,
because it was really like a half-hour long video, so you trimmed it down really well. The ending here, we have a pretty cool effect. Can you talk to us about that once it comes up? We're still looking a little bit at the beginning here. Where are we at? Yeah, there we go.
This is the final checks here. So he's going to check the dipstick, make sure there's actually oil in the engine.
It's good use of B-roll too. I mean, it's good that the guys grabbed a lot of other shots, so you can fill in the gaps. And
it's good to have those other shots. It's not good when you're looking at the bin on Adobe and you got 100 different shots and you're trying to figure out which ones to use.
That is never fun.
This is the ending here. Thank you, Mr. May.
And talk to me about how you did this particular effect here.
Yeah, so I forgot what site it was exactly. Do you remember what
it was? Runway.
Runway, but you kind of told AI and you keyed it out around me so that I could pass in front of the logo there. And then at the end, I had to go into Adobe and I had to take it down with the engine, like crop it with the video.
Yeah, so we leveraged AI with this, which I think is something almost everyone's going to have to do going forward with video. AI is becoming really popular, and not just for like text to video, but to make some of your special effects easier to do, because Runway is a really easy site to key things out. You literally click a button and it kind of keys out the background.
Yeah, because otherwise, I had like no idea how to do that. Like maybe in After Effects, if I spent like a day on it, I could try and figure that out. But that was super easy. Like just did that in a couple minutes, and I was able to put it.
And it would take you forever to rotoscope that out.
Exactly.
Which is what's great about AI. People think it's going to take jobs. It probably will from some creatives, but I also think it's going to allow others to like expand their creativity, because they're not going to be tied down to having to learn a certain software to get one little effect. Because I think as creators go, like when you're like, what the effect is, what you want to do, but then you start looking at the tutorials and it's like, this is going to take 2-3 hours to do this one little thing, and you're usually like, never mind, you do something else. So, but I think you nailed it there. Overall, the project, what was your biggest takeaway from creating this project?
My biggest takeaway, just I guess understanding the process more. It sounds like you should probably understand it by now, but like trimming down something, you need to like understand what's most important and what's just kind of filler, so that like what to cut out from the final project, because there was a lot that was cut out, and hopefully when I do try to submit to Natus, I can add a few things back in. But
yeah, there's a term for that I won't say, but in Hollywood they use a really gross term about having to cut the things that you shot that you love and you spent a lot of time, but you got to kill those things, so to speak. And it's hard because you want to use it. You spent the time on it, and so it can become difficult. I think the end project, I do think this is going to do really well at MMEA. I would be shocked if it didn't be if it wasn't in the top 3. I do think it might. I think it should win. I mean, looking at these submissions but just the content of like tackling an oil change, which is something useful that everyone needs to know how to do, and the steps that you walk us through, and of course Mr. May's expertise of doing it the right way helps as well. So what is one thing you would do differently if you did this project over again?
I would probably keep the camera guys out of the back of the shots. That was kind of a problem I had, because when we did it live, so we had multiple different cameras going on. Sometimes cameras cross. Like I'll have the wide shot, and then Jacob will come like into the shot, and I'll have to cut to his shot, even if it's not the best, just because I don't want like seeing my camera guy in the back. But
yeah, it's tough to do, especially when you got a bigger crew like that.
Yeah.
Everyone's eager to get the shot. But yeah, it's something to think about for next time when you do next Mason's Maintenance. Which will be what? What's the next one?
Episode 3. It's a big question.
How to grow a mullet.
How to tie a tie.
Tie a tie. There you go. Everyone needs to know how to do that.
That's
for sure.
Easy one.
I like it. All right, bud. Well, thanks for joining me today and going through your process for all the millions of viewers that will watch this. I think it's important. I think it's important for people to understand where the creativity comes from and how it flows through all of our students. And I think it's a great opportunity for younger students to learn how you get to make great things like you did. So thank you, dude. And we'll catch you all next time on The Process.
See ya.